Hey, Dale here from the Time Machine, and what a great project at hand. A motorcycle that's actually 90 years old that was found new in a crate. It's a long story, but here we are at Wheels Through Time. Myron is in here working on this machine. Let me tell you a little bit about the bike. It's a 1919 Indian Powerplus military machine, and I think Indian supplied probably 6,000 or 7,000 of these machines. It's also actually very similar to the machine that Cannonball Baker set the transcontinental record on in 1916. It's a 1,000cc Indian, and here's the short story. The motorcycle, built new in 1919, languished somewhere in the original crate for nearly 60 plus years. Somewhere around 1980, the machine was taken apart. Some of the parts were plated. The machine was painted from olive drab to Indian red, and then the bike got put away, and here we are. Anyway, here's the project at hand. Mo got here yesterday and brought the minivan, unloaded boxes and boxes and boxes of all of these parts. Now, I had seen the bike in Mo's garage, and I said, what is that? He told me the story about the old man who actually wants to ride this bike one more time. I said, bring that thing up to Wheels Through Time. We'll video document actually the assembly and really learn a lot about a 1919 Indian and just kind of share it with everybody. So Mo agreed, brought the box in yesterday. I spent quite a few hours last night laying things out, nickel plating on this table, painted parts on this table, fork and frame up here. Actually, Mo's putting the fork on right now, and table on my left, the incredible 1919 Indian 1,000cc Powerplus engine. And of course, there's several varieties of this engine. This engine is like brand new. In fact, the whole bike is brand new. After the machine was taken apart, it might have been ridden a little bit, but it was disassembled, and here we are today with all of these bits and pieces of brand new Indian, and some of the discoveries are pretty cool. Mo actually had a parts book for the Powerplus Indian. Mo actually has 5 or 6 similar racing machines with this engine in his garage. I've been studying this era of Indian for a long time, amassed a few bits and pieces, but what's in front of me is all the original sheet metal, and of course always a few stumbling blocks, but most of the sheet metal is absolutely brand new. Pretty interesting to look at where the seal was stamped. You can actually see the machine marks, one paint job on original sheet metal. There's no ever attempt to smooth the metal. One of the major stumbling blocks we have are the gas tanks. They've got some rust on the inside. We're going to be using a product called Rustico. That's a whole nother show. And the name of the game today is to take this pile of parts and make it smaller, which we always do here in pretty good style. I'm going to help Mo get the forks on, and in probably an hour or two, we're going to have a good bit of this machine assembled. Probably not the engine. That'll probably be its own time slot, so to speak. But I'm going to jump in, give Mo a hand with this fork. Catch you a little bit later on the Time Machine. Well, I can't stand it. Probably the last thing you'd want to put on the bike is a tail light, but this 1919 nickel-plated brass jewel tail light is just way too cool for me not to put it on. With Mo still working on the fork, which is actually a work of art in itself, it goes right into what's called the Indian cradle spring frame, which I think Indian developed in around 1911, and the machine actually has a rear suspension operated off an elliptical spring, 2 struts, swing arm pivot, and years ahead of its time.
Since we don't even have the braces on
I know the braces aren't even on it. Oops.
Won't you give me my cycle and a star-filled sky above? A good-looking woman with a heart full of love. I go to every honky-tonk in every beat-up town. I am a wild one, I'll never settle down. I got a girl in every town, says she loves me so.
Well, as you can see, the the pile on the parts is getting smaller, which is the name of the game. We've got actually the rear wheel chain guard transmission, forks. We're going to put the tree in the handlebar. The tree is absolutely a beautiful piece of work, and kind of just make the parts pile get smaller and move this project ahead. Mo needs a hammer. Look at that. Well, after a short visit to the parts book, we've decided this is the proper way the tree goes on it. And it's really pretty amazing. All of these parts are absolutely brand new, so there's no nicks in the threads, and everything kind of goes together by hand. We've made the pile of parts get a little bit smaller, and going to work into the night. And tomorrow we're going to jump in and tell you a little bit about how a 1919 Indian Powerplus motor works. Catch you later on the Time Machine.